I am Brandon Perna. This is That's Good Sports, and I want to start by saying athletes are not heroes, but we sure as hell want them to be. We convince ourselves that athletes are unflawed, and as soon as they show human-like qualities, we relish at the opportunity to destroy them. I'll dig deep into the barely firing synapses of my brain to express exactly what I mean and how it relates to the Peyton Manning sexual assault story from 1996, reissued in hardback in 2016. So let's try to make some goddamn sense of all this. Let's start with what we know. In 1996, Jamie Naughright, a trainer at the University of Tennessee, accused Peyton Manning of exposing himself to her as she was examining his foot. Not only is this rude and immature of Peyton Manning, but it's unfortunate because Naughright was about to diagnose Peyton with early onset plantar fasciitis. Sorry, Peyton, but that's fucking karma. In August of 1997, Naughright and the University of Tennessee reached a settlement. She received $300,000 for having to look at Peyton Manning's penis and or asshole, which is ironic because I'd currently pay $300,000 for the same opportunity. I'd go as high as $350 for a look and measurement. She also apparently wanted a 1996 Citrus Bowl watch and a 1991 NCAA championship ring. So that was included in the settlement, which caps a perfectly executed play in stereotypes by both parties. Manning is the Neanderthal who, in typical misguided male reasoning, attempted to assert alpha dominance by exposing his dick boy parts. And Naughright used the situation to get some extra jewelry. The most important part of this settlement is the confidentiality agreement, decided upon by both parties, which would be in Manning's best interest to abide by. But for whatever reason, the dude did not abide. And in 2001, Naughright received passages from the autobiographical novella, Manning, a Father, His Sons, and Our Arrogance in Believing It Would Be a Good Fucking Idea to Breach the Confidentiality Agreement. Book. That's right, the Mannings published a book where they reference the incident and take it a step further by referring to Naughright as vulgar mouth. Vulgar mouth. I'd hate to think of what Peyton fucking Manning would call me if he ever watched this beautiful show. I believe they attempted to paint her in a negative light, which was beyond stupid, and at this point, Naughright really was a victim of Manning not once but twice. Naughright filed another lawsuit for breaching the confidentiality agreement and for defamation based on the mature picture that was painted of her in the book. In 2003, Naughwright's story changes, and she added new details stating that Manning's butt and rectum made contact with her face. It's too weird to even try to make a joke about that. At the end of 2003, Manning and Naughright reached a settlement. This means she received a settlement in '97 from the University of Tennessee and a settlement with Peyton Manning for breach of confidentiality in 2003. But wait, there's more. In 2005, Naughright files another lawsuit against Manning because he breached the confidentiality agreement again while talking about the incident in an ESPN documentary. She and Manning make their second settlement, Naughwright's third, stemming from Buttgate. It's gotta be called Buttgate, right? We'll never know exactly what happened. It's clear Manning dropped his drawers, but whether or not contact was made will remain a mystery, just like the actual first moon landing. Boom, pun intended. Here's what's strange to me. I'd never sue a woman for showing me any part of her naked body or shoving it in my face, and in fact, I'd welcome it, tweet about it, and remember it as a great day in the history of me. Why? Well, because I'm a disgusting male human. I've also never been anointed by my peers and mentors as infallible because of a skill I possessed. And my point is that's a dangerous thing to do to anyone, especially young men who have proven to be the dumbest species on the planet for the last forever. I thank Tim Tebow's Jeebus every day that I've never been so arrogant as to believe that a woman would actually enjoy having my ass in her face. I believe Naughright had every right to sue Manning the first and second time. After that, things become muddied in my opinion, especially with her details of the story changing, and that she's also filed a lawsuit against designer Donna Karan for some injury she suffered by a physical therapist in the fashion designer's bedroom. Suing Donna Karan for a bedroom injury sounds more like a plot line from Better Call Saul than real life. Here's the bigger problem that nobody is talking about, and it's our cultural obsession of putting athletes and celebrities on pedestals. We hoist them up with personal pride and say, "I love you, you're the best," and then crucify them when we discover they're not fucking perfect. You let me down, and now I expect an apology, forfeiting of your money, and the joy of seeing you feel miserable. That's the price you pay to be a sports idol. How fucking long do we have to exist as the human race before we stop believing in magic? Athletes aren't magic, they're just people who have mastered a game, and for whatever reason, we glorify that. We are so enamored with their physical superiority that we'll allow them to get away with murder, both figuratively and literally. Ray Lewis, O.J. Simpson, and the Colquitt triplets. That's right, there used to be 3 Colquitt brothers. Now, nobody can take away all of the good that Peyton Manning has done off the field since arriving in the NFL. 2011 Bleacher Report named him one of the most charitable players in the NFL. His Payback Foundation helps disadvantaged kids all over the country. He gave so much money to the St. Vincent Hospital in Indianapolis, they named a wing after him. And he still makes regular phone calls there to talk and listen to the patients. Possibly the most charitable thing he's ever done is allowing Tom Brady to win more Super Bowls than him. You cannot take that away or discredit all of the good things he's done outside the lines, as they say on ESPN. Now, with this story, there are people adamantly defending Peyton, and there are those attempting to snowball this into something that stains his legacy. Let me say this, right now that stain is dark and noticeable. It will sit in the laundry and we'll know it's there, but after some spray and wash, a run on the permapress cycle, and a hang drying, because it's a nice shirt, the stain will be gone and forgotten. In the near future, something else will steal our attention, and everyone except those who truly hate Peyton Manning will forget about his rectum. Jameis Winston, Ben Roethlisberger, Kobe Bryant, all accused of rape, and nobody cares anymore. Adrian Peterson was welcomed back to the NFL this last season with open arms after beating the shit out of his kid. I'm pretty sure Roger Goodell steals babies from poor people and eats them, but nobody cares, because we've told these guys they can do whatever they want, until we decide they can't. Now, obviously, it's not true with all athletes. Drew Brees is a saint. Pun intended, number 2. But this story with Peyton Manning is a good thing, because it shows that even the guy who's been collectively labeled as the perfect role model showcased imperfection. He may have even thought Naughright would enjoy staring at his asshole, or worse, touching it. If you believe another person would be privileged to look at your disgusting asshole, you can safely recognize that you've actually turned into one. Mistakes are part of life. They're a crucial part of personal evolution. There are varying degrees of mistakes and consequences, but for most of us, mistakes teach us how to navigate through life. The problem for us normal folk is when the consequences for mistakes lessen in severity due to individual success. Had any of us done what Peyton did, we would have been kicked out of college. And that enrages us. I believe the great Neil deGrasse Tyson said, "Life sucks, and certain people get to do shit we don't. Deal with it." That's true. The rehashing of this story is sick. And I say that because its intent is not justice for Jamie Naughright. She received justice 3 separate times. The intent is destruction. The intent is negative persuasion, and it worked. That's what bothers me about this. Sean King, the writer of this article, had ill and selfish intentions when he wrote about this story. He's not fighting for Naughright. He's trying to take something away from Manning. What kind of asshole would do something like that? Which proves, with more probability than not, that Tom Brady is the douchiest quarterback to ever play the game. If a movie is ever made about Tom Brady's legacy, it will most likely be called Liar Liar, True Lies, Or my personal favorite, Big Fat Liar, starring Frankie Muniz, Amanda Bynes, Paul Giamatti, and of course, Tom Brady. Deflategate. What a jerk Sean King is. Stories like this divide because as people, we love picking sides and fighting for our side regardless of whether we're right or wrong. The worst part about this is that there is more discussion and outrage about this 20-year-old story that was already settled 3 times than there is about the Republicans in our Senate stating they deny any Supreme Court justice the president recommends the day Antonin Scalia died. Oh no, don't bring politics into football, Brandon, you fucking idiot. Unsubscribed. I came here for football, not for your fucking beliefs. Shut up. I have a point, and if your feelings got hurt the second I said the word Republican in a negative context, you're part of the problem, and this really applies to you. The Senate that we've all collectively elected, assuming you voted, just said they believe their job is to not do their job. They are more focused on fighting against the other side than reaching a solution that would be in the best interest of our country. The future of social progress is at stake, but let's spend our time fighting about the legacy of a fucking quarterback. Do you know why our Senate thinks it's okay to ignore their duty, stymie social progress, and focus their daily activity on fighting against the other side? It's because that's all we fucking do. They think it's okay because we don't hold them accountable, the way people are trying to hold Peyton Manning accountable for something he's already been held accountable for. Our priorities are ass fucking backwards. We love to voice our opinions through social media, while never taking any real steps towards making a change. Our social voices reek of one-sided opinions where our only goal is to entrench our beliefs even deeper into the ground we stand upon. Imagine what we could accomplish if our brain power was used for constructive problem solving instead of trying to find ways to discredit our supposed adversaries. I'm guilty too. Athletes are most likely not going to have a direct impact on our daily lives, but the Supreme fucking Court might. Yet we don't seem to give a shit because it's not entertaining. The Supreme Court won't provide us with an escape from our disappointing lives next fall and winter every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday, will it? We hold athletes and celebrities to higher standards than politicians because they actually provide us with the service, and that's sad. But we're reaping what we've sown. Peyton Manning's not perfect, and Donald Trump might become president. I'm pretty sure the Bible says that's the first sign of the apocalypse. Thanks for watching another episode of That's Good Sports. Make sure you subscribe here, unless, of course, you disagree with what I say. The point of this whole episode is if somebody disagrees with you, fuck them, right? Follow me on Twitter, @BrandonPerna, and let me leave you with this. The best way to avoid personal success is to spend your time trying to strip others of theirs. Quote, "That's good sports." Or did I steal that?